So I need to budget that $20, 20 minutes very well, right? So roughly I talk to my family, back then probably 5 minutes a month. Anything you can think of a human being can do to a potato, I did it, and that is my meal for the whole week, right?
And this current moment is trying to find a company that's seeing your potential and willing to invest in you, first of all. And second is trying to find the
money cannot always bring you happiness, but most of the time, money can bring you. Travel really is the best way to get you richer, right? You really enhance your life.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of She Inspires Me podcast series. I'm your host, Christine Chung, and if you are new here, we introduce an empower women perspective for Millennial and Gen Z. We deliver high-quality visual podcasts with successful women from diverse backgrounds to reveal their own story and learn from it. And She Inspires Me. We drive fresh and inclusive thinking about women for Gen Z. We want you to conquer the world in a better way. We are in different set again. And guess what? We are in Benefit Corporate Office in Fort Worth, Texas. And we're here with another wonderful guest, Divina Chiu. She is the director of digital commerce with more than 20-year experiences. For whom may not know, Benefit is a food and beverage company. It's a premier distributor in food and beverage industry for more than 117 years. And I know Divina through another internship that I had with Benefit last year, and she's such a great boss, a great leader, very inspiring, and she have a lot of things to share for all of you as well. So let's welcome Divina to the show.
Hello, thank you very much, Christine. How are you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, nice to see you again here.
I'm so grateful to have my boss on the show today. But anyways, I believe that her energy and her piece of advice is going to be so valuable for us. So first of all, could you please share for us about who you are so that the audience can know a little bit more about you, and then what makes you here in Dallas, Texas?
Okay, good. Absolutely, I will. Thank you very much, Christine, again. So, hi, my name is Divina Chiu. I was born and raised in Taipei, Taiwan. I have been in the United States for over 20 years. I got my bachelor degree in business and computer information system from University of North Texas, and the MBA from University of Dallas. I am a food lover. I deeply believe that the food is a symbolic
of
love. Exactly, symbolic of love for words are inadequate, right?
Yeah.
Happily married, no kids, no pets. I've been with the Benny Kids for over 5 years and help to manage its initiative in the digital commerce area.
Yeah, I believe that there's a lot of theme that we heard lately about digital commerce, and then about digital marketing, everything about digital. But I'm still not sure about what is digital commerce in your opinion.
Okay, so digital commerce probably, let me put this way, right? In layman's terms, digital commerce basically just selling and buying online. Right? Okay. Using either internet or mobile, any type of a commerce architect. Yeah. Right? So, for example, Walmart.com, right? Just for example, right? So that is a form of flavor of digital commerce that is company sales to you and I, right? Direct consumers, so we call it B2C. Right. Another one we say Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Body shopping,
Amazon's very popular.
That is like a business, mostly it's business to you and I, again, the consumer, right? So it's more of the B2C, right? As another flavor. And for us, right, as you mentioned, like a great introduction, thank you very much to introduce Benny Kids, right? So we are the distributors of business, we sell to the restaurants, right? So it's B2B. Right, so those are the kind of a flavor of the digital commerce.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I haven't ever heard much about that, but how can you know about digital commerce and what led you end up in digital commerce?
Okay, so that is a long story, right? So probably
maybe make it short.
So I studied, as I mentioned, I graduated majoring in BCIS, right? It's more of the kind of a combination, right? More combination of like business analyst as well as kind of a computing technology, right? So the reason why is because when I come to United States to study as international student, I just want to pick up the major that I don't have to talk to people too much.
Oh, I
right.
understand.
So like if I can coding, I just talk to the computer, right? And it's just a little bit analytic skills. I think I have. So I studied that, and I got a great internship with American Airlines, right?
That's cool.
So after I graduated, I got fortunately I got a position. So I started doing some of the projects, and I kind of start putting myself into more of the analyst position, right? And a couple years later, I went to a bigger project and realized there's a job title called project manager. So I got certification. I studied myself. So I kind of start getting into the project management role, and from that, I have opportunity to get into the digital commerce, right? A bigger project there. So that's how I started.
Wow, that's a long journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And especially currently with this dynamic innovation in everything, and especially in technology and in business, I believe that there's a lot of things that we have to catch up with, a lot of new things over there. I heard that you mentioning about your journey, that you make it all the way here to the US as an international student.
Yes.
And guys, if you might know it, I'm also another international student, which is mean that we have kind of relevant background.
Yeah.
And I believe that come all the way here to the US and living by our own and having a lot of courage to do things by our own and figure out things by ourselves, it takes a lot of resilience.
Absolutely.
So can you tell me a little bit more about the reason why you decide to move to the US, and what is the motivation for that huge change?
Right. Definitely, I know, right? Definitely, it's not as easy, right?
Right.
So I had a great privilege to serve in the Air Force back home in Taiwan as one of the first female officers, right? So that unique experience actually not only taught me the value of discipline and the resilience, right, as you mentioned, but also stretched my vision. Actually stretched my vision. So I had a very strong desire. I want to go out, see the world.
Yeah.
So I took my first trip outside of the country, visiting U.S. As a matter of fact. So I went to Hawaii and Las Vegas, Disneyland, and San Francisco. And then maybe just the magic of Disneyland, I just fall in love. Fall in love with this country and the people.
Right.
So after that, I just decided I want to continue my education, higher education here in the United States.
Well, that's a long story.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, and definitely just like everybody else, right? I had, particularly first couple years, definitely a lot of struggle, right? You think about that. I come along, I think you as well, right? Come along to United States, study. The challenge I was facing definitely is homesick. Right. Think really, of the parents, really separation from the family, friends, right? The things we feel very familiar with. And also on the top of that, also you have language barriers, right?
Yeah.
English is
that's
my probably
huge one. That's a huge barrier.
Yeah, second, third language, and also the cultural differences. Right. On the top of that, also you have finance stress, right?
Oh my God, that's a big one. I've been so stressful last semester just because of the financial issue.
Yeah, because currency conversion, like it was, I think right now still, was very expensive to study here, right? So I remember that the first year when I came to US, right? That time, right now, I'm sure it's more than $5. That is selling a big sack of potatoes in grocery store. I remember it's $5 for 10 pounds. You know what I did? I would just boil the 10 pounds a sack of potato and bring to my dormitory. So what I did is I think I deep fry, stir fry, bake it and braise it, steam it. Anything you can think of a human being can do to a potato, I did it. And that is my meal for the whole week, right? So, and I remember it's talking about culture shock, right?
Yeah.
I was working so hard. In fact, I had 3 jobs, 2 jobs on the campus, 1 job outside of the campus.
Yeah.
And I was taking 18 credits.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Because I want to graduate faster. And I was working so hard and got 4 scholarships that year. And I know you got a scholarship as well. And I was just like, and I got it later from Uncle Sam that asked me to pay taxes because my scholarship exceeded my tuition. So that's the first time I come to know Uncle Sam.
It's very admiring because the reason why there's a big difference is because back then you don't have technology, you don't have other supporter. Like for me, I feel like my generation is a little bit different because we have technology and we have a lot of philanthropists that are willing to help us, and also with our story, with scholarship, and with a lot of other global opportunity, and we also have our family to support, which is great. But I believe that back then we don't have Quizlist, we don't have check, we don't have other kind of
Have you seen like a phone car?
The
phone car, you do not know, right?
I didn't know that.
We don't have an iPhone, of course. There's no FaceTime, right? There's no app. So
how do you connect with your parents back then?
So we bought phone car. So this is a car you can buy at the grocery store. I remember roughly it's like $1 for 1 minute. I can call home, right? So I bought a $20 car, right, for 20 minutes. So I need to budget that $20 minutes very well, right? So I talked to my family back then probably 5 minutes a month, so I can stretch that $20 phone car. But no, other thing I'm saying was definitely not complaining because those are the unique experiences that I think made me stronger.
Oh, that's so admiring. Thank you so much for sharing that.
I feel like not that at all.
I feel like that's such a big lesson learned because we were born in this kind of generation, and we have a lot of other advantages. Now when I miss my parents, I just need to click Facebook, FaceTime, phone call. It's come up right away. But I believe that it takes a lot of resilience and courage and determination back then in order to make like real American dreams happen. I feel like everything is getting too easy for us sometimes. I don't know, but
well, technology it is okay, right? Because of technology, and that's all about technology, right? Including digital commerce or leadership, all about, right? And that's the reason you have She inspires me, right? It's a podcast because the idea is make the younger generation better, right? Easier to adopt a new life, a new journey.
A new life, new journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. If you could turn back 20 years ago, at that time when you were a college student, you still were trying to surviving here in the state, what is something that you wish that you do differently?
I don't think I will have too many decisions I want to make differently, right? But however, I think there are a few things I wish I had done more or done earlier. And if it's okay, probably I can also make it a kind of advice to your audience, right? If it's okay. I think first thing I definitely say, I wish I invest sooner and more. Invest in what, right? The first thing definitely is the network, relationship. Investing in relationship, trying to find your support, a network of support, right? Either
like
your parents,
system.
Exactly. Either your parents, your uncle, right? Or even your classmates.
Like a mental support system.
Exactly. Somebody, even at the work, at the internship, anywhere, that a circle of friends, families that who can support you, help you to make a decision, right decision, faster, better. Right. So I think that wish I had that idea and build that earlier, right? And the second thing, invest in what? Definitely money. I totally understand money cannot always bring you happiness, but most of the time, money can bring you options. Right. I think we all learn rule of 72 at the school, right?
Yeah.
Rule of 72 basically, just for the audience that you may want to kind of refresh quickly, like if we say rate of return is 12%, right? 72 divided to 12 is 6. Basically, your investment will double in 6 years, right? So you think about that to the audience and the younger generation like you yourself, right? Time is your best asset, right?
Right.
Invest or whatever, no matter what type of investment, just invest as early as possible. So in the future, you will have more options, right? Financially. I would definitely, I wish I can do that even more and earlier. The last but not least, the invest is the most important thing above all is invest in yourself, right? I just mentioned ROI, rate of return.
Yeah.
How about we need to, hopefully, younger generation right now is already thinking about the ROU, return on yourself, right? Go on a trip, go see the world. The world is so big, right? Invest in a class, invest a business like you,
stay
right?
out your comfort zone.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Just invest in yourself, right? Even mentally, physically, right? So just do that. I think I wish I have done more and earlier.
Oh, thank you so much for that. I think that's a great advice, especially when we think about how can we maximize this current moment.
Yeah, the potential of you, right?
The potential of you, because I feel like if we getting ready for this time in our early 20s, then after that, you know, when we jump into the real world, we have a big momentum to maximize it, but we don't know how. And I think talking to a lot of different people, especially like you, all the things that you just said, I think it's a great message for all of us to think about it, to seriously think about it, especially me. I also feel really relatable. Thank you, I appreciate that. So I have another conversation with a cousin, and she's married, and she told me that, Christine, why don't you join this competition? But I told her that I think I'm not ready. I think I'm not gonna be that good. Maybe wait a little bit more, maybe next year. And then next year she catch up on me. She's like, Christine, why don't you do it? And I was like, I have a lot of things going on. I want to be better. And then she told me this. She's like, okay, you know what? When I was younger, I do a lot of things, but I'm trying to be perfect. I'm trying to invest in something that I'm having fun. I think, oh, I'm young, I still have time. And then boom, when time runs and flies, and you get married, and then it's not over, but it's just having another thing that's holding you back. Yeah. So I feel like one of the messages that I related the most, and one of all of them, is probably invest in yourself. Yeah, like we need to take a move right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Go see the world.
Yeah, go see the world. And then you just mentioned one thing, right? Sometimes people want to be perfection, right? Want to hold. Nothing wrong with being perfection, but at the same time, I think for me, right, there's difference between being perfection versus being prepared. Yeah. Right. You don't want to just get something and let me just go do it without thinking, right? You want to make sure that you understand the worst case scenario, you understand the upside potential. Then you do a mentally calculation, right? Then say, okay, is this the calculated risk I'm willing to bear, right? Yeah. Is that the upside potential is far beyond the potential risk, right? Then do a calculation, you prepare yourself to best. Then just go, just be brave, just go.
There's another quote that I really like it. It's called, when you want to achieve something, do it. The universe will try to help you. And I just feel like really relatable, especially when I do the scholarship application and all the competition back then in the university. When I just waiting to get better, and then there's one time that my brother gave me a call. Why you just do it? Don't think too much. And he's very harsh on me on 30 minutes, and I just like, okay, I'm sorry, I'm doing it. And you know what is the result? When I do it, I stumble, and everyone help me, and it takes time for everyone to actually respond to you and help you as well. So you need to estimate that time when it's getting better. So it's mean that as long as you get prepared and you go for it, and then try.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit more time to get it better as well, but do not wait for yourself until you get to that point.
You think about the worst case, people say no to you.
Yeah,
right?
Rejection
okay,
as well.
good. No to, okay, good, right?
I get better and better
Yeah,
after
get better,
that.
right? So sometimes I think I learned this a long time ago, right? So if people would say 1 yes to you, 9 no's to you. So every time when people say no to you, then you should be happy. Oh, 1 no to go, right? 1 no down, right now, 7 more to go. So sooner or later, yes will become,
Oh,
definitely.
thank you so much. I need to take this one, especially the one that you talk about, go see the world.
Yes.
You guys not gonna know how much amazing and wonderful the world out there, especially for me when I was back in Vietnam. I thought that I was doing okay. I was great. Everything is cool. I have my job, my full-time job. Then until I got to the state, I was mind-blowing. I feel like I'm too tiny to the world. So yeah, that's a good lesson learned. You need to go whenever you can.
Really, you think, the world is such a bigger place, right?
Right.
I definitely agree with you. Not until you step outside, look at the world, you understand how humble you need to be as a human being, right? So, and you think about that, whoever who is able to see this episode or hear or listen to this episode means that you have a roof on your top, right? You have a shelter, you have an internet access, you have a mobile device, or you have a computer to able to listen or see this episode. But think about people out there, right? May not have the privilege even able to reach to this episode, right?
Right.
Yeah. And also, you think about, of course, I mentioned I'm the food lover, right? Think about all of the food, the culture, the color, the people out there. Really, I mean, if you think you are too poor to go, right? To go to travel. Think about this way. Travel really is the best way to get your richer. Right. You really enhance your life. Go out to the world. And in fact, me and my husband had a kind of a bucket list plan, right? I made sure that with you already. By 2025, we want to visit 50 states of the United States, right? Right now we have 5 more to go, and by year of 2040, we want to visit all of the continental, right? So open the door. Open the door for yourself.
Open the door for yourself. Divina, I have another question to ask you because I've been so curious about this. We often hear about gender and diversity gap in corporate world, and according to statistics, there's 40% of Asian female leaders in manager role. So I read this news earlier when I have another friend, and then I'm sitting, then I'm talking with her, just having like a fun conversation, you know, and then she showed me a chart that's showing the percentage of female leaders at work and their identity. Then I was surprised because the reason here is when it's termed to diversity and gender gap, there is 40% of Asian female leaders that taking the manager role. However, when I take a look into the executive level chart, it came down only 4%, which just means that just only 4% of Asian female leaders in executive level. So Divina, could you please share for us how can you navigate all the challenges and reach to where you are right now?
Right. So first of all, I definitely want to say I have been very, very blessed, right? So many people helped me along the way, right? But I think to your question, I think the first thing you want to do to make sure you are able to find a good company that fit you, right? When I say good company, does not mean necessarily need to be top 500, right?
Right.
Or is the company not willing, a company that willing to invest in his people, right? And really take people growth as a part of the company growth, right? Because in that environment, you are able to strive, right? No matter your gender, your skin color, right? So I think a company is very important. The second thing is you want to find a passion, right? I've done digital commerce for so many years, right? Because I truly believe the potential of digital commerce, and also over the the growth opportunities out there, right?
Yeah.
So, and also there's probably a couple of things I think it probably will help the audience well, right? And also myself is one is you want to make sure you have a heart of gold, right? Because you think about the help the people who are helping you is very important, right? You think about that, and also for particular for female and the Asian. I think your question on the Asian female. We need to master the skill of crucial conversations.
Right.
Yeah. Crucial conversation meaning that when the stakes are high, emotions are high, right? But opinions are different. How, as a leader, how do you navigate through, right? You, my own experience that a lot of times, great decision got made at the confrontation, at the heated conversation, right? And a lot of times, great teams are built in those difficult situations, difficult conversation, right? So how you're going to manage that, navigate through, lead a team, right? Make sure you stay in the conversation. How can you find common ground, right? And to achieve achievable action plan, right? So I think those are the leadership and allow you to advance in your career path. Is your EQ. You know how to put yourself and help the team and the company achieve the goal.
I really appreciate the way that you approach about crucial conversation and about potential growth. I have another conversation with my peers lately about what is the best company that we should pick or what is this company that we should working for. And I realized that no matter what's happened, the goals for us in this current moment is trying to find a company that's seeing your potential and willing to invest in you, first of all. And second is trying to find the place that you feel belong to.
Absolutely.
If you belong to, it doesn't mean that you jump into that position and you feel belong right away. No, it's not happened that way. You jump into that team, you may feel not fit in, but then after that, we have in very uncomfortable situation, in some uncomfortable situation, and we have a crucial conversation together. We're trying to figure things out together. We went through hardship, and then that's how we make a great team.
Yeah, that's a build relationship.
Yeah, it's a build relationship.
And also just remember, I also mentioned, right? Before you want the company to invest in you, willing to invest in you, as I mentioned earlier, always remember to invest in you first, in yourself first, right? So
yeah, you need to make sure that you very dedicated to what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Because as a lot of us, we afraid to take the crucial conversation. Yes, it might be with your peers, with your officers, not officers. It's maybe with your peers. It might be with your peers, your manager, or with people that are working with you.
Yeah, or anyone with authority, right? Like because our background, right? We started. I felt much more comfortable, defaulted back to avoiding any confrontation, right? And or compromising, right? And that's just kind of in our culture, in our background, right?
Right.
Yeah. So a couple years ago, right, I kind of learned about the art of a crucial conversation in one of the a leadership class, right? This company provide, and that really opened my mind, right? So I'm still a long way for me to go. I'm practicing every single day, right? So and I know there's no commercial here, but anybody who is interested in this topic, just go Google it, right? Crucial conversations. There are a lot of great books out there, clips out there. Just kind of a step of your own toes to learn about that. I think that's a great tool.
I need to Google about that too, because I also have trouble with communicate about my own problem or having crucial conversation. I think that's a great thing to consider about, especially at workplace, because we want to make sure that we show up work like a second place.
I don't think you have a problem. No, don't say that. You just have a room to improve. Truly. Right. Yeah.
Thank you.
You are such a great host, right? If you think about, you are telling people you have a problem, nobody is going to.
It's a secret, guys. It's a secret. But I actually have that problem too with crucial conversation.
Yeah.
Because in our culture, we still because
Go ahead.
Because in our culture, we're still trying to be humble and trying to fit in.
Sure, yeah.
So
we don't want to make a noises, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you are not polite, you are too much, right?
Yeah, but can you pretend for the future, for the next few years? No. So you need to talk about it, like you need to bring it up.
Yeah, I mean, we need to embrace, particularly at the work, right? When you go to a certain level, you need to embrace, encourage healthy conflicts, right? Because only when the conflict is when the emotion high and you have a common ground, the great idea flows in, right? A great decision being made, right? And also that's the best place to build relationship, build trust, right? So if everything is, oh, hey, how you doing? How you doing? Nobody really go to the meat or the core. Everybody's avoid confrontation. I think the growth will be very limited.
That's right. Thank you so much for your advice. I think it's very helpful. So if you were a recruiter and you're trying to find some talent for your team, spectacularly in digital commerce, what is some personalities or what are the traits that you're looking for from a new candidate?
I think there's a common practice within our IT here, right? There's a book out there. It's a team player, right?
Oh, I read that book already.
Yeah. I think many of us read that book, right? So I think that's a kind of a guiding principle for us, right? Particular for me, I definitely I enjoy that book. Also, I think to you, right, the three virtue of a team player, right? One is definitely humble, right? Humble, right? The second thing is hungry, right? You need to have a self-drive, right? The self-motivation, right? The third is smart, right? Smart in terms of not only intelligently smart, but also is aware of the surroundings, aware of the people, right? The relationship, the dynamic, right? So I think basically humble, hungry, and smart.
Thank you. I think that's a great message. When we talk about hungry, what does that mean?
Hungry means you want it, right?
You want it, like
right?
Curious.
So you want it. It's not just you don't do things only when people ask you to, right? You raise your hand, right? You look around, and you always have a heart and a drive to continue to improve yourself and help the company to improve the company as well, right?
Yeah, we're seeking for growth opportunity.
Absolutely.
And improvement.
Yeah, improvement,
That's
right?
a great message. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes.
Okay, the last question. So just imagine if you have a daughter and she's still in college age, what are the 3 pieces of advice that you want to give for her?
Okay, if I had a daughter, right? Okay, I think first, probably as I mentioned, be investing, right? Investing, as I mentioned, right? Yourself, the relationship, the network, and financially. So be investing.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I think, be brave. Right? We mentioned, right? Be brave, prepared, but be brave, right? It is okay to be the first, whatever you want to do in your family, right?
Yeah.
The first, whatever you want to do among your friends, right? Or in your class. It is okay. Just be brave. The third, I think, is very important. If I had a daughter, be loved.
Aww.
Really
be
loved.
lovable.
Be loved, meaning that asking for help is needed. It is okay to feel beloved, right? Find somebody that love my daughter more than my daughter loved that person, right?
Yeah.
Just be loved.
Thank you so much for watching the episode, and don't forget to comment below about your thoughts on this episode. If you have any comments, any ideas, send me an email or DM through our Instagram, She Inspired Me, or LinkedIn, She Inspired Me, or our YouTube, our Facebook. We're all available in our social media right now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching, and see you all next time. Bye!